Everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Damola. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you are welcome. Please do well to click on the subscribe button, and also don't forget to turn on post notification so you get notified whenever I post a new video. I post sewing tutorials every week. Okay, so today's tutorial is all about how to sew your princess dart bustier. I already made a tutorial on the pattern drafting aspect, and I'm going to be linking it in the description box below. And without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the tutorial. So these are the pieces I am going to be working with for the front part, okay? And I went ahead to cut out a lining piece for each of the 3 pieces, and I also went ahead to iron stay interfacing on the actual fabric and the lining pieces as well, just like you can see, okay? Then I went ahead to cut the bra foam that I'm going to be using for this project. This is called a laminating foam, okay? And I went ahead to cut 2 pieces for the side part and just 1 piece for the center front, okay? Now the measurement I used for the center front was just from my underbust. I measured about 7 inches upwards, okay? And I went ahead to cut it out in the shape of the bustier, like so, right? And for the sides, I went ahead to place the foam on it like so, and I measured about 4.5 inches outwards like that, and I made a curve. That was how I got my laminating foam sizes, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the actual fabrics and I'm going to go over to my ironing table, place the laminating foam on the center front like so, and I am going to use my hemming gum to fuse the laminating foam to the actual fabric, just like you can see me doing, right? And I'm going to be doing the same thing for the 2 side pieces as well. So I'm going to go over to my ironing table to do that now. Then I'm going to come back to show you guys what it looks like. So after I was done doing that, this is what I have, okay? So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to sew up the sides to the center front, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and flip them over to the right side, and I am going to place the corresponding sides on the center piece like so, and I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to sew it up, okay? So I am going to place the center front and the corresponding side by side like so, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to the wrong side like so, and I'm going to be sewing by 1/2 inch. So when I get to that part where the princess dart curve starts from, okay, I am not going to be lifting up my presser foot at all, okay? That is the mistake most people make when sewing up their princess dart bustier, okay? Instead of lifting up my presser foot, I am just going to leave my presser foot as it is, and I'm going to tilt the curved part of the princess dart under the center front like so, and I'm going to keep on sewing, still maintaining my 1/2 inch seam allowance, okay? If you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I'm doing, okay? I am going to keep on sewing by 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to be sewing all the way to the other end. So after sewing, this is what I have. I am going to be pushing it out from the right side like so, and you can see how beautiful it looks already, okay? I am going to be replicating the same thing on the other side as well. So if you did not get it the first time, you are going to get it this time. Just watch carefully what I'm doing, okay? So after sewing that up, I'm going to go ahead to push it out, and this is what we have. You can see how beautiful it looks, and I have not even ironed it out yet, okay? So now you see this part that I'm pointing at, the part where my curve starts from. I am going to be flipping it over to the wrong side, and I am going to be notching that part to make it more relaxed, okay? So please, you need to be very careful here so you don't cut through your seam. So I'm going to be notching it on this side, and I'm going to be doing the same thing for the other side as well. So after notching, this is what we have. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but when ironing your laminating foam to your actual fabric with your hemming gum, make sure the hemming gum does not get all the way to the tip of the actual fabric. That is, it does not get all the way to that part that you are going to join together, because you will have to cut off the excess foam on that edge so that when you iron, your fabric will be able to relax properly. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess foam. So please watch what I'm doing very carefully so you don't cut through your fabric. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and notch all around the seam. Then I'm going to take it over to my ironing table, and I'm going to be pressing the seams open. Okay, but because this fabric is a brocade fabric and it is fraying a lot, I am going to go over to my overlocking machine, and I am going to overlock that edge first before notching. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then come back to show you guys what it looks like. So I've gone ahead to overlock it, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and notch the seams on both sides, right? And after notching, this is what I have, you can see, and I am going to be repeating the same thing on the lining pieces as well. So I went ahead to join the lining pieces, and I notched all the seam. Then I took it over to my ironing table, and I pressed the seams open. I also did the same thing for the actual fabric as well, and this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to turn the neckline, but because this is a turtleneck blouse, I am not going to be turning the neckline with the lining. I'm just going to be placing the actual fabric on the lining like so, and I'm going to run a stitch of 1/2 inch on the neckline area, right? I'm going to do that now, then come back to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after sewing up the neckline, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn the sides. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side like so, and I'm going to make sure the right side of the lining is facing the right side of the fabric like so, and I'm going to be sewing the sides by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine to do that, then come back to show you guys what it looks like. So after sewing, this is what it looks like, right? I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to the right side like so, and after flipping it over, I went ahead to iron it out, and this is what it looks like. You can see how it is looking very neat inside out, right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and join the front bodice to the back bodice, right? So now if you watch the first part, you would know that we also have a princess dart at the back of this blouse, right? So basically I'm just going to repeat the same thing I did for the front bodice. I already went ahead to iron my stay on both the actual fabric and the lining pieces. So what I'm going to do now is to place each side of the actual fabric and the corresponding pieces side by side, and I'm going to head over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to be sewing it by 1/2 inch just like we did for the front pieces. So I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to do that now, then I'm going to come back to show you guys what it looks like. So after sewing it up, this is what it looks like, and I'm going to be repeating the same thing on the lining pieces as well. So after doing that, this is what we have. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and give it a notch just like I did for the front bodice. I'm going to notch all 4 pieces, and I'm going to head over to my ironing table to iron them, then come back to show you guys what it looks like. So after ironing, this is what it looks like, right? The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and place the actual fabric on the lining just like I did for the center piece, and I'm going to run a straight stitch of 1/2 inch on the neckline area. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to do that for both pieces, then I'm going to come back to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after sewing up the neckline. Now the same way I turned the sides for the front earlier, I'm going to be doing the same thing for the back, only that I am going to be sewing the zipper allowance area of the back as well. So I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to do that now, then come back to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after sewing. Okay, I also went ahead to close up the zipper allowance area. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and place the front bodice over the back bodice like so, and I'm going to be joining my shoulder area together, and also I am going to be shaping the sides. So I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to do that now, then come back to show you guys what it looks like. And after shaping it out, this is what it looks like. You can see how beautiful this is looking, and this brings us to the end of this tutorial. If you like this video, please do well to give this video a thumbs up, like and share. And if this is your first time coming across my channel, please do well to click on the subscribe button, and also don't forget to turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever I post a new video. I post sewing tutorials every week. Okay, so please be sure to subscribe to become a part of the family, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.